And then I went onto your website and it said, even though you're not on the ballot, a write-in counts. Explain that.
Absolutely. Yeah, so they can't stop you from conducting a write-in campaign. Write-in campaigns have been victorious in a number of primaries. It's very difficult to win a write-in a general election, but people win write-in primaries with a lot of frequency. LBJ actually was a write-in primary. Joe Biden, Lisa Murkowski, Strom Thurmond. There have been Democrats, there have been Republicans, and the reason is that voter turnout is very, very low in primaries. And in point of fact, there's 61 candidates on the ballot, and they're not organized alphabetically. So to find your candidate, it's going to take about 20 seconds for you to scan that box. Or what we've been telling folks to do is just do what the kids at the Columbia encampment did when they got their nonsense, cease and desist order for the encampment. They just said, "I ain't reading all that. Free Palestine." So you can just look at those 61 names for governor and say, "I ain't reading all that." Go right to the bottom, check the box where it says write in, and then you write Butch Ware. And we have literally thousands of people that have already uploaded their ballots. We've shared those on Instagram. So the write-in campaign is proceeding apace. And we've had numerous people that made their recommendations, understanding that this was going to have to be a write-in candidacy, but they are going to do it anyway.
So I'm an English major. I'm not good with numbers, but even I know if you're not on the ballot, and if I'm looking at the polls right now, people are looking at you right now and said, Dr. Butchware, I might like many of your positions. You don't have a chance. I mean, forget Democrats, Republicans, you don't have a chance. And if anything, what I saw with the Green Party and what I saw with you and Jill Stein in 2024, you're a spoiler. And you're specifically going to spoil against the Democrats. And I might not be the greatest fan of the Democrats, but it's going to help the Republicans and these freaks right now in the White House. So why, sir? Why? Are you putting your hat in the ring? And by putting your hat in the ring, you're taking the hat away from Democrats who could actually win and do some good.
Yeah, so my hat has been in the ring. I would have had to remove it, within the framework of the question. But I reject the premise that we can't win. They removed me from the ballot because they know that we can. The day that I was removed from the ballot, the leading Democrat candidates were polling at 10% each: Tom Steyer, Katie Porter, and Eric Swalwell. I was polling at 5% on that date. Tom Steyer had spent $130 million and it could only open up a 5-point lead in the polls. And that's, by the way, just what we know from publicly available polling. I am sure that they had internal polling that had us running neck and neck. The reason why they removed me from the ballot was that my polling numbers were the highest that we've had for a third party in the state of California since 1934, and they would have required my participation in the April 22nd, April 29th, and May 6th televised debates. And they know exactly how those debates would have gone because I was a Green Party vice presidential candidate. I debated against those candidates through all of the run-up debates. I'll give you the first one: SEIU Local 1000, 1,000 people in the room. I debated Katie Porter, Javier Becerra, and the rest of the Democrat field. When they closed the door, they asked best candidate. I beat the top three Democrats taken together. So understand that the reason why I was pulled off the ballot was precisely because I am an electoral threat and remain one. 53% of Muslim Americans voted Green in the 2024 presidential election, only 20% for Team Blue Genocide, 20% for Team Red Fascism. For context, there are 1 million Muslims in the state of California, and it is only going to require 1 million votes to finish in the top two in the June 2nd primary. I'm not running as a spoiler. I'm running to win the election. And if you want your Democrats, which, listen, I've never been a Democrat in my life. I am not going to protect the party that is trying to sue me off of the ballot, right? It's not my job. The Green Party endorsed one candidate. There are 24 candidates that the Democrats have on that ballot. It's a nonsensical argument to say that I'm the one splitting the vote when the Green Party got its house in order and nominated one candidate and they have 24. But just to be clear, if you still believe in Team Blue Genocide, the easiest way to get the Republicans out of the race is to vote for Butch Ware, because what that will lead to is a matchup between whichever corporate Democrat survives their process and me. And the alternative is them chasing a Republican candidate to the right between June and November. Which would you rather have? Them dealing with a populist agenda that comes from an actual progressive candidate, or more of them trotting out the Liz Cheneys of the world in order to drag a neoliberal Democrat Party that is so far today to the right of Ronald Reagan that you can't even see Reagan from where Gavin Newsom is standing? Would you like more of that? Or would you like them to actually be pushed by a genuine leftist candidate?
So I want to talk about your critiques of the Democratic Party and how you differ